Alright guys, just saying here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the Dokkan Fest physical Beerus. Now of course with Sunday approaching, now we know it is Battle of Gods themed, this guy does have a chance of getting an EZA. I do think it is a little unlikely, because something like LR Beerus and Whis definitely does deserve an EZA much more than this guy, just because he's been out for a lot longer. But it is still possible, I don't want to take it away from this guy. So I do want to revisit him, as I'm trying to revisit as many units as I can that I think will EZA for Sunday, or that have the potential to EZA for Sunday. So, yeah, but before we get into the video, if you find yourself enjoying it at any point, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, keep in mind there's timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip around to any part, then absolutely feel free to do that. And, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, oh, actually, one thing I want to mention, too. In my showcase yesterday for LR Beerus and Whis, I completely forgot about this, but they were not under a 200% leader skill, because I forgot Carnival LR Gohan was a thing. But of course, we're going to correct that in this video, so a little bit of a redemption. I decided to throw them on the team, but the video is still not going to be like centered around them. It's still the physical beer showcase, but they're just there, so if you want to see their numbers and stuff like that, definitely they'll be there, because I am running them on the same rotation, as they share pretty much every link, or yeah, 6 out of 7 links, so almost every link. But anyway, on this opening rotation right here, we are at 122k defense. Okay, that does kind of suck, but there is something to keep in mind. We do get 70% attack and defense after we receive an attack, but it's only for the turn. So that's not really going to benefit us right here, because in slot 1 we're not receiving any attacks. So you wouldn't be able to see him actually benefit from that extra 70% attack and defense. But you're only going to get that if you receive an attack actually before you attack. But anyway, 4.5 million attack stat, actually a little bit higher than I was expecting, because we are actually stacking attack by 30%, so definitely, throughout the fight, he's going to start hitting very hard. But I guess, to be fair, we did have a very good rotation right there. Okay, well, it's too late to play this intro. Yeah, we did have a very good rotation right there, because we had, like, 50% support from the STR Whis, and, of course, as you saw, we had, like, 6 out of 7 links active. But, okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to float the Zamasu off, because that Zamasu is a crazy support. He supports for, like, 70% defense, which definitely is very good. And I think he does share a couple links with him, too. That will just help us look better. But I guess we got the LR Beerus and Whis on rotation with him, so it doesn't really matter. And then I did bring this Margarita as well. I mean, she's a little bit of a support. Really nothing too crazy. I think she supports for like 20% attack and defense. But, I mean, still, there is that. So, all right, on this rotation, actually, we're going to be looking a little bit better and worse, because we lost support. But we are receiving an attack before we super. So we are going to be able to see the extra 70% attack and defense buff take into place right here. And then after we do get that buff, okay, yeah, our defense is going to be a little over 200k. So defensively, very bad still. I mean, don't get me wrong, that is horrible. But it for sure is a little bit better. And offensively, I'm actually kind of expecting something kind of good, because we hit a 4.5 million attack on the previous rotation. So, all right, 4.1. So it went down a little because we lost support. But still, not really the worst. Actually, still a somewhat solid number, considering we're stacking attack. And we did get the crit off right there as well for some solid damage. But, yeah, so a couple other things you're going to want to keep in mind with this guy is he does greatly lower defense on his super attack effect. So, I mean, that's not really that important, but it's still worth mentioning because, of course, in Super Battle Road, you'll be able to make some use out of that. And then the big thing about this guy is he is Rainbow Orb changing when you're facing a Realm of Gods enemy. That is pretty crucial because, I mean, we all know how useful a Rainbow Orb changing is. And there's not really that many, like, very difficult events that have Realm of Gods enemies, but definitely, like, a lot of the legendary events, the final couple phases will be Realm of Gods, and of course there's a couple events here and there that do have that. So it is a useful ability. Rainbow Orb changing definitely is a very good thing to have, because it just makes it to where everyone gets a super attack much more frequently, and some units need key spheres, obviously, to look better, so that does benefit them a lot. But anyway, so right here, we've got a lot of support, because again, the Zamasu is an insane support. So start of turn, we are at 165k defense, and after we get the 70% attack and defense, which, okay, we're not getting, but if we were receiving an attack in slot 1, then that would jump up to like a little over 250k defense, which still is not really that good, but yeah, definitely a little bit higher than we saw him previously. So our attack stat is 3.3, definitely a humongous just downsize in terms of our attack stat. That really is just because we didn't get that 70% attack and defense. Because, of course, that is a pretty sizable buff. I mean, it's not really anything too massive, at least in terms of his defense. But in terms of attack, that is like a couple million attack stats in terms of damage if you don't have that. So definitely you're going to want to make sure if you can throw him in slot 1 so he's doing more damage. But in most events, you're not going to be able to throw this guy in slot 1 because his defense is very, very bad. But, you know, again, it all depends on where you bring him. If you're in like a normal Dokkan event, then this guy's not going to have any issues. Or even if you're in like the God event, I feel like type advantage, this guy'd be very well in there. Or he'd perform very well. But in, I don't know, somewhere like a red zone stage, even type advantage, like if we bring this guy versus Omega Shenron, which is probably what we're going to do, I'm telling you now, we are going to get destroyed. I mean, if you want to see it still, you know, stick around. But I'm just letting you know we're probably going to get destroyed. So, okay, right now we are on turn 7. So actually, we've gotten to stack up with him a bit. And we're still not receiving an attack before we super. Come on, Goku. You gotta help me out here. But we did Rainbow Orb Change. As you can see, we got a lot of Rainbow Key Spheres on the field. And, I mean, yeah, definitely pretty useful. I do want to get his active skill off as well, because his active skill is insanely useful. You have to be below 70% HP, but you get like a 50% attack and defense buff. So on the next rotation, I'll try and make sure I take some damage. But wow, over 5 million. Damn, we didn't even have the 70% attack and defense buff right there. Yeah. So with that, we probably would have been pushing like 7, 8 million. So definitely very good. I guess that is him stacking attack. You know, that'll definitely make it to where you get to some crazy numbers. And I guess in terms of how to build this guy, I mean, he's not really, you know, he's probably not going to be featured on the Sunday banner. And he hasn't been featured on any banners recently. So I guess this might not benefit you. But if you have a couple Beeruses in your box lying around and you don't know how to build them, I guess I'll tell you. So at least my opinion, I'd say full additionals, because of course he does stack attack. And typically units that stack, full additionals is the way to go. But, I mean, dodge also wouldn't be the worst thing because, you know, he definitely can't take a hit. So if you're dodging, that is a lot more useful. And you could give him, like, a little bit of crit. I mean, I kind of have a bias. I'm not really the biggest fan of crits in units. I mean, of course, there is exceptions, like counter units. You need to go full crit with them. And, you know, like the STR Cooler, who's got a bunch of additionals already. Prioritizing crits probably is the best way to go. But majority of the time, I do actually give units either full dodge or full additional, or I guess like a little bit of both, but I typically prioritize one over the other. But with this guy, I think full additionals probably is the way to go. But okay, anyway, right here, we're at 122k defense, so, okay. Yeah, I'm going to keep him in slot 1. We're going to receive the 70% attack and defense buff. And then LR Beerus and Whis. I think they're going to take some damage right here. I don't know. This is just a normal Legendary Goku event, so maybe not. But I just want to get this active skill off. So maybe if we don't get it off on the next rotation we see him, 4.7 by the way, if we don't get it off on the next rotation we see him, I'll just cut to when I can do it. And then after that, we'll cut to like the red zone test and all that. But anyway, yeah, I guess a pretty high attack stat. Not really anything too crazy. You know, just him stacking attack definitely is going to make it to where he's going to get to some solid numbers. But even here on turn 9, actually, we're not really looking that impressive offensively. But, you know, you got to cut him some slack. He's, what, 3.5 years old at this point? Let me double check really quick. Yeah. Actually, wow. Okay, so, yeah, he's 3 years old. Pretty much to the T. So, definitely a very old unit. I mean, he could EZA. I mean, yeah, I guess now that I think about it, 3 years old. Yeah, he damn well could EZA. They've EZA'd people a little bit, I guess, newer than that. So he very well could EZA, but again, I just think it does boil down to, I think Dokkan should prioritize some other EZAs first, because we're not going to see Battle of Gods for a while. So then if they EZA physical Beerus and not LR, STR Beerus and Whis, like when would they EZA, you know? So it's just, I feel like it would work out better if Beerus and Whis did get their EZA. But they better make him good, man, because, look, as much as I love Int Bojack, he is kind of forgettable. So I don't want, because I'm comparing them, obviously, because they are the same type of LR. You know, they released around the same period, and they were, I don't know how to explain it, but they were like the leads. They leaded the, like, extreme Int type for 4 key and 100% attack and 100% HP attack and defense for the Bojack, and then the Beerus, obviously, or the STR Beerus and Whis is a super STR type. So I'm comparing them because they are kind of similar in that aspect. And the Bojack was very forgettable, so I really hope they don't make this guy forgettable like that and they make him actually good. So, alright, we can't get our active skill right here, so I'll just go ahead and cut to a rotation where we have it. But, I mean, I guess there's his defense, 165k. So, yeah, let's go ahead and cut. Alright, so we're here in the Legendary Vegeta event, because I actually just destroyed the Legendary Goku event. But, yeah, we got his active skill right here, and let's go ahead and pop this. Okay, so this works out perfectly because we are receiving an attack in slot 1 as well. So it just makes it to where not only are we getting the extra 50% attack and defense from our active skill, but then we get the 70% from receiving an attack. And we are actually super effective against all types for 1 turn. And our attack's guaranteed to hit, but that doesn't really matter. I don't think this Vegeta even can dodge right now. But alright, right there, we are at 184k defense. Yeah, that's alright. After we get hit, we're going to be at like, what, 260, 70k-ish defense. So not really the best defensively again, but I mean, we already knew that. He hasn't really been looking that good defensively throughout the video. But let's see what attacks that he's at. That's what I'm a little bit more concerned with, because in terms of his damage, he has been on the more impressive end. Yeah, so basically 8 million. That's not horrible. We are only on, what, turn 5 as well, so we haven't really gotten that much time to stack. And we were super effective against all types on that rotation right there as well. So definitely just a very good turn in my opinion. I mean, 8 million damage, super effective against all types, and we're stacking is very impressive. And this KO screen also, it just looks kind of cool. So with all that shown, I guess let's just go ahead and cut to the Omega Shenron Red Zone stage. I'm actually kind of looking forward to see how much damage we're about to take, because we are about to get destroyed. Okay, so we are here fighting Omega Shenron, and we got a pretty good setup for him right here. We are going to have 4 out of 7 links active. So, okay, I guess we are missing Prodigies, the Innocence, and Berserker, which between the 3 of them, that is a good amount of attack, actually. But, you know, still, I just want to see how good he's doing defensively right here. I think offensively, it doesn't really matter. We've seen his offensive capabilities. Oh, okay, well, looks like we're not even going to be able to get a super off with him anyway. I didn't bring any key items, did I? No, I didn't. Damn, I should have. Alright, well, yeah, alright, sorry, I guess we're just not going to get a super attack off with him. I mean, that goes to show you, he can still struggle for key. He doesn't really have any amazing key links. I mean, of course, he does have shocking speed, which is very good, but other than that, there's nothing there. And, you know, just overall, his Rainbow Orb changing ability is useful, but there's not that many difficult events where the enemy is a Realm of Gods, actual category enemy. But, alright, I mean, still, defensively, that's what I want to see right here. We are at 122k start of turn defense. So how much are we taking per normal? That's what I'm really curious about right here. So 143k. And then, don't worry, after we get the 70% attack and defense, we're only at 100k per normal. So, you know, we're perfectly fine right there. Okay, well, we still did die, but actually, we took a lot of attacks, and literally the last one killed us. So if we weren't taking that last attack right there, we would have survived with just about, like, what was it, 100k HP remaining. So, I mean, pretty impressive. I gotta say, Beerus, you know, for not being the newest unit, he's like 3 years old at this point, he didn't necessarily perform, I guess, bad in my opinion, you know, because between the Rainbow Orb changing, even though we've already established that condition can be kind of harsh, but still, it is there. And between the stacking, the active skill, and all that, he can look alright in some situations, at least offensively. But I think we can agree defensively, even in an event that's kind of remotely difficult, he's not really going to be amazing. But if you, like, float him off, you could still get away with winning the event with him on the team. It's just a matter of, like, luck and stuff like that. But, alright, with all that shown, yeah, let's go ahead and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, here we have Hot-Blooded God of Destruction Beerus. So starting off with his leader skill, it is Exploding Rage or Realm of Gods, category Ki +3, HP plus 130%, and then attack and defense plus 170%. This guy's super attack effect is that he raises attack, so he stacks attack by 30% infinitely, and then he causes immense damage to enemy, and then greatly lowers defense. So the greatly lowering defense, as I already said in the video, definitely is pretty useful for like Super Battle Road and stuff, but this is the standout super attack effect in my opinion. And then his passive is that he gets 100% defense, and then he gets 150% attack when performing a super. He gets 70% attack and defense after receiving an attack, but it is only for that one turn, unfortunately. And then this guy does Rainbow Key Sphere change a certain type, okay, so this guy changes the Key Spheres of a certain type to Rainbow Key Spheres. Got a little ahead of myself there. And then he does get attacks effective against all types as well. And then these two are restricted to a Realm of Gods category enemy. So definitely two very useful things right there. I mean, Rainbow Orb changing and super effective against all types are definitely going to make it to where you're hitting harder and you're helping a lot of other units get super attacks off. You know, this guy's going to be getting a super attack off with the Rainbow Key Spheres, but I don't know, this just isn't really all that common. So I feel like that might be a little difficult sometimes, but it is still useful, I'll say that. And then this guy's active skill condition is that it can be activated when HP is 70% or less starting from the 4th turn from start of battle. So not the worst condition. I mean, definitely, it's going to be pretty consistent, but it's not necessarily the best either. And then the effect on the active skill is that he gets 50% attack and defense, attacks effective against all types, and guaranteed to hit for 1 turn. So the 50% attack definitely is a massive buff. I would say more specifically the attack, because his defense isn't really all that crazy to begin with. So extra 50% isn't even going to get him at like 200k as we saw in the video. But the attack buff definitely is very useful. And then the attack's effective against all types. Obviously, he's going to make it to where he's just hitting harder. And then the attack's guaranteed to hit. That's not really all that useful, but in some situations, I guess it will be. So it's good he has it at least. I'll say that. And then, yeah, I already went over the condition. So this guy's links are Godly Power, Prodigies, Connoisseur, The Innocence, Shocking Speed, Berserker, and Fierce Battle. So not the craziest link set, but considering who you're actually running him with, it definitely does work. It's a good link set. I mean, he's got like Godly Power, you know, Prodigies, Fierce Battle, and Shocking Speed. So a lot of the God Goku and Vegetas, he'll still share a couple links with, but for the most part, you're just going to want to run him with like Beerus's and Whis and stuff like that. And then this guy's categories is he's on Exploding Rage, Realm of Gods, Movie Bosses, which I've been talking about this past couple videos. This category really does need some buffs. As much as we think it's like really crazy, it really is not. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some standout units like, you know, LR Janemba, 5th form Cooler, EZA Physical Broly even is pretty good. And then of course LR Golden Frieza, you know, we've got LR Metal Cooler, they're all very good, but other than them, I don't know, I feel like this category is lacking. I mean, I guess we got the STR Cooler as well. But I don't know. I just feel like this category definitely does need some buffs. So this guy getting like an insane EZA or something would be very useful for that. And then he's also on Siblings Bond, Worthy Rivals, Bond of Master and Disciple, Space Traveling Warriors, Planetary Destruction, Legendary Existence, and then Battle of Fate. So yeah, that is the physical Beerus. Let me know how you're feeling about this guy. Let me know what you think his EZA could look like down in the comments. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.